Moin! What does sin actually mean? Is it to steal a Coke or sleep with another woman? Or is it maybe more? Is there more to it? So let's see what the Bible says, how the Bible defines sin. And we read Romans 3 verse 23, and there it says, "For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God." So what the Bible is teaching us, that as the origin of the word in Greek already means to miss the mark, that sinning is not just doing something wrong. It is fully missing the mark. Missing the mark of what, you ask? We read it in verse 23. It says, "Fall short, miss the mark of the glory of God." So what it means is that sin is everything that is contrary, that is against the nature of God. So everything that is not in the nature of God is sin. So that's why Jesus comes along in Matthew 25 and says, it's not just sin when you sleep with another woman, it is already sin when you look at her lustfully in your heart. So sin is nothing, excuse me, sin is not just works. It's not just doing the wrong thing. It is being the wrong thing. It is being something that is not like God. And we can already see that it's deeper than that. So sin is not just a bad work, a bad deed. Sin is deeper. Sin is something that is inside the nature of a human being. And that's why we can see already when little kids come and join this planet, and the first thing they get is a little like this sucker thing. You take it out, they scream. Kids are egoistic. As soon as you take something off them, they yell at you. They say, "Give it back, it's mine." They are, as I said, egoistic. They are jealous. And no one ever taught them how to be jealous, but they are. So you can already see, every one of us was like that. We can already see that humanity is like that. Humanity is sinful. They are all sinners, the Bible says. Why? What does it mean? It doesn't just mean that they're all people that do the wrong thing. It means that they're fully wrong, that they're fully apart, away from who they should be in God. It's their nature, humanity's nature, is absolutely not what God's nature is. What God's nature is like. And now you say, "But bro, wait a minute. Then why is this such a wicked planet? Why are there just humans that are walking around like sinners, like fully apart from God, fully not like Him?" And that's the good news, that we weren't created like that. That's why it says in Romans 3:23, that we all miss the mark. We all fall short of the glory of God that we should have had. So why? Because we were all created in the image of God. Humans, man, was created in the image of God. Genesis 1:27. God created man in His own image. In the image of God, He created him. Male and female, He created them. So humanity, man, was created in God's image. You, me, I, he, him, her. Everyone on this planet was supposed to live in this glory, in this character, in this nature that God has. Why? Because we come forth from Him. God created us. He's our creator. He is our Father. And that's what we see in the Bible. That's what the Bible is teaching and telling us, tries to tell us, that every human being was created by God and originally in His image. So God brings you forth on this planet. That's why everyone should have been like Him. What does it mean? Not that you walk through walls and so on, and know everything and all things, but that you share His character, you share His nature. So you're honest, you're joyful, you're loving, you're patient, and all these things that God is, the life, the love, the truth, all these things that He is, you should have in your character, in your nature. But what happens? Why is humanity not like that? And then we read Genesis 2 verse 17, where God says, "But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it you shall surely die." So God wasn't a frustrated God. Because he's life, he's peace, he's joy, he's love. What he was saying is, guys, if you choose to not walk in this nature that you have at the moment anymore, if you choose to not walk in peace and in unity and in obedience and in love and in selflessness, but if you choose nature, which is selfishness, I do what I want, you choose disobedience, you choose disunity, then I'm sorry, but then you will bear the fruit of that. So there are two natures on this planet. One nature is God's nature, and the other nature is everything that is not God. It's the sinner. It's death, because it's not life. God is life, 1 John 1. So everything that is not him and of him is death. And so that's what God means. He says the natural result of you not walking in your godly nature anymore is death. And God was speaking to man created in his image. So he was speaking to that nature. He was speaking to the godly nature in man, saying, you surely must die if you choose the other path, if you choose the other nature above this. And that's why every human being, every man after Adam and Eve, which includes everyone, everyone was born into that. Everyone was born of Adam and Eve. Everyone was born of dead people, in that sense that they were dead to the image of God. So they had a new nature. They had just a egoistic nature. They had a jealous nature. They had just, as the Bible calls it, a deadly nature, because it's not from the life, it's from someone else, and the someone else is not life, so it's death. It's the absence of life. And so everyone who was born after Adam and Eve was born automatically into that, because something dead, this nature that Adam and Eve had, can't bring forth something of life, something of purity. So that's why every person was born into that. Every person these days still is born into that. Every little baby freaking child that comes on this planet, that puts a foot on this planet, is egoistic from the first moment on, is jealous, and so on. And that's why the Bible talks about being reborn as a Christian. And as you do that, as you receive a new nature, God's nature, finally again, the nature you were always created for, then the Bible says that's why it's able to walk without sin. That's why it's able to be called dead to sin. Romans 6, for example. Why? Because it's being dead to a complete opposite nature of the one that you should have before God. So that's why it makes sense that the Bible says, you're dead to sin, because sin is not just an action you do. It's a full-on nature that you left behind since you are reborn. And that's why, please, you must be reborn and find finally the nature again that you should have had from the beginning on, the nature of your Father, of love, of peace, of joy.